Just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I fall.
All right, that's John, please.
Maximize the crowd. TV chat.
We'd like to welcome all to the funeral service for Sister Marilyn Kalicharan. We commence by singing song number 139, See Yourself When All Is New. Skate will now deliver the funeral discourse.
So we would like to welcome everyone. Of course, it would have been my desire that we will welcome everyone who has happy occasion. Probably something like a wedding, an anniversary, just something happy. But no, not this time. It's not a happy occasion. Our dear beloved sister, Marilyn Kalicharan, has passed away. She died on September 6th, that's Monday, last Monday, September 6th, 2021, at the St. James Infirmary. She was 68 years of age. Just to give you a little bit of her family background or those who are related to her, and please forgive me if I don't list everyone because it's quite a lot. So she was the wife of George Kalicharan. She was the mother of Paula, Dave, and Almatia. Stepmother of Janice, Marilyn, Junior, who is now deceased, and Carla. She was the daughter of Calvin Snow, who is deceased. and Cynthia McCabe. Sister of Norman, deceased, Natalie, Glenn, Michael, John, Odina, Jeffrey, deceased, and Marcia. And of course, she was also the grandmother of Adelia, Alicia, and Jay Shaw. But do you know that Marilyn was also a great-grandmother? Yes, she was also a great-grandmother of Michael. Now, of course, there are some cousins and so on. As I said, I did not thank her to all of this, but she had a big family. She was well loved because of her family. Now, Marilyn was born, as mentioned, Bernadette Marilyn Bernadette McCabe. It was on May 20th, 1953, in Port State. Now, on November 6, 1975, she got married to George Kalicharan. Of course, many know him as well, a pan man who's very deep in the pan. But for those of us who know her personally, what would we say about her personality? What words would you use to describe her? Words come to mind like quiet, reserved, so to speak. So she had this quiet disposition about her from birth until she passed away. However, despite that quiet personality, that did not stop her from putting the interests of others ahead of her own. I spoke to some of her siblings, some of her sisters and so on, and they mentioned the same thing. Though quiet, Marilyn sacrificed whatever she has for their well-being. And she was known for that. Each of them brought up the same matter because I spoke to them independently, thus showing that stood out to them. How Marilyn was there for them, though very quiet. Now, I wanted to take note of this date because it's very important. On June 30th, 2007, at 54 years of age, Marilyn made the most important decision she has ever made in her life. What decision is that, you ask? At that date, I'm going to mention the date again, June 30th, 2007, Marilyn decided to dedicate herself to Jehovah God, and she symbolized that dedication by water baptism, the most important decision she has ever made in her life. But here's a question. What will move Marilyn, after living for 54 years, to dedicate herself to Jehovah? Here it is, when one reaches that age, maybe a more stable. Why did she change the form of worship? What moved her to make such a big step? It started with a personal study of God's Word, the Bible. Yeah, she decided to have a personal study of God's Word, the Bible. No longer was she dependent on others to tell her what to believe and what not to believe. No, she said, listen me, let me examine the Bible myself. And she did so. And of course, what she was learning, she put faith in it. And that moved her to action. And the Bible said that Romans chapter 10 and 7. Faith does what? It says faith follows the things learned. And that is what moved Marilyn. She learned about the word of God. She learned about this purpose. She learned about Jesus Christ. And she put faith in it. And it just moved her. She just wanted to dedicate her life there. And so she did. That date again, June 30th, 2007. Now, as a faithful servant of Jehovah, she used many of her opportunities to tell others about Jehovah God and Jesus Christ. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We talk about that quiet, reserved personality. I think the official term they use there is what? An introvert. But yet we talk about Marilyn going out there and declaring the good news. Now, that would be, for someone with that personality, that would require what? A lot of courage, a lot of boldness. I know some of us would like to talk and it's easy for us to want to talk to people. But someone who's shy like Marilyn will go out there and talk to persons about Jehovah God and Jesus Christ, and at times not everybody accepted the good news. Where would the shy woman get such courage from? Where did she acquire her boldness? Did it come from within? Really? Back in the first century, Jesus' apostles had a situation where they were told by the authorities, do not preach the good news. What did they do? They put the matter in practice overboard. And after they prayed, according to Acts chapter 1, verse 31, it says, and when they had finished, when they had made supplication, the place that they were gathered together was shaken, and they were one and one filled with Holy Spirit, and was speaking the word of God with boldness. So, what enabled the apostles to be bold and preaching that good news? It says they were filled with Holy Spirit. Hear this? That was not just a first century experience. That same Holy Spirit that enabled the apostles to preach with boldness is the same Holy Spirit that enabled Marilyn, shine while Marilyn, to declare the good news. That person about overboard, about Jesus Christ. What is God's kingdom? Yes. Because of God's Holy Spirit, she was bold in declaring that good news, and then gave her to carry out the Holy will. But it did not stop there. Some of us are familiar with the meetings of the Jehovah's Witnesses at Kingdom Hall, and now we're getting it over Zoom. There are portions of the meeting that call for their participation. Now, persons come in and participate in meetings. Now, for someone who is shy to talk over mic, or even to use technology to talk over Zoom, that will require effort. And it's your time to speak. Heart is pounding, nerves are rattling, perspiring. You know, our shy dear sister Marilyn participated in the meetings. In fact, we mentioned that she passed away on September 6th. That was the Monday. On September 5th, the Sunday, just 24 hours before, Marilyn participated in the congregation meeting. Yes, it was over Zoom. She's not familiar with the technology. Sometimes she don't even rename herself Marilyn, so sometimes you have to see who it is. Not familiar with technology, but she tried. She used the technology. She put up her hand virtually. There's a button press, put up your hand virtually. And she participated in the meetings. Again, what moved her? Holy Spirit. It had the apostles in the first century. It had Marilyn. And that is our fondest memory of her. Last time we heard her, she was talking about her. She was commenting on the meeting. She was encouraging us. And that's the type of person Marilyn was. But now, our hearts are sad. We lost a dear one. And grief is a normal reaction when someone you love passed away. Or is it? Sometimes I've been in discussion with some persons, and this is what they say. If you are made in God, you would not grieve. You would not shed a tear because you have strong faith in God. Is that an accurate conclusion to come to? Let's find out. We're going back in Bible times. Many of us would have heard of the man Abraham. Now, in Romans chapter 4 verse 11, Abraham is described as the father of all those having faith. Let's look now, if those of us who have our Bibles, let's look at Genesis chapter 22 verse 2 and see how Abraham reacted when his wife Sarah passed away. Do we have it? Genesis chapter 23 and verse 2 says, so Sarah died in Kiriath-Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham began to mourn and to weep over Sarah. We just talked about this man being of strong faith. How did he react when his wife passed away? God's word, the Bible says, he began to mourn and to weep over his wife. Interesting, isn't it? Could you think of someone who has stronger faith than that of Abraham? Because Abraham is quite up there with the faith is concerned. If you are thinking of Jesus Christ, you are correct. As strong as Abraham's faith was, Jesus had great faith. How did Jesus react though when his friend Lazarus passed away? When he encountered Lazarus' sister Martha? Let's look at the Bible of John. John chapter 11, verses 33, 1 to 36. You have it? Let's read. When Jesus saw her, that Martha, weeping, And the Jews who came with her, even, he groaned within himself and he became troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? Replied to Lazarus. They said to him, Lord, come see. Verse 35. Jesus gave way to tears. If you're following the picture, it's very short. It says Jesus wept. So what's the point? What are we learning about Jesus and Abraham? Great men of faith. Grief is a normal reaction when we experience the death of a loved one. So don't have anybody who can say that if you cry or anything like that. That is not so. We saw the example of Abraham, and we saw the example of Jesus Christ himself. And this helps us appreciate that Jehovah God has tender feelings for those who grieve and he promises to comfort. That is interesting. But I have a question for you, and I really want you to think about this. Was death part of God's will for mankind? When God created man, was death part of his will for mankind? Was it Jehovah's will for Marilyn to pass away on September 6, 2021? In other words, we are asking this question: why do we die? To answer that again, going towards the Bible, we're going back to the book of Genesis. But this time, Genesis chapter 2, and God had created our foreparents, the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. He gave them some instructions, some commands. Let's see if we can answer the question, why did we die? By examining the commands that God gave Adam and Eve. So Genesis chapter 2 is where we are going. We're looking at verses 15 on to 17. Are you ready? Genesis chapter 2 from verse 15 says, Jehovah God took the man and started him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and to take care of it. Verse 16, Jehovah God also gave this command to the man, of every tree of the garden you may eat to satisfaction. But as for the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, you must not eat from it. For in the day you eat from it, you will certainly die. Yes, I know, many of us are familiar with this Bible account. But what does it mean? Let's read it a little bit. The man was told to eat from every tree of the garden to satisfaction, but if he ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, what was going to happen? It says, you will certainly die. So, had Adam obeyed God, ate one, and not eat, what was going to happen? He will certainly not have died. And herein, we get the answer as to why Adam and Eve died. They disobeyed God. They ate from that fruit, and they certainly died. Had they remained obedient, they would have certainly not died. They would have kept living. So Adam and Eve died, our first parents died because of disobedience, because they sinned against God. But that was them. How are we today in 2021? Was Marilyn today involved in that decision? Well, since all of us were born after our first parents Adam and Eve sinned, we too came under the descendants along with them. Explaining this, we go to the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 12. Romans chapter 5 verse 12. Here we are given the reason. It says, that is why, just as through one man, sin entered into the world, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men, because they are all sinned. Are we understanding this, friends? Relative invited guests? It says, one man sin entered into the world. Who is that one man? That's the Adam we spoke about who disobeyed God. It says, and death through sin. And it spread to all men because they had all sinned. So because of Adam's sin, it spread to all his offspring, including us in the year 2021. And thus, we get sick, we go old, and we die. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is not fair. Why must we pay for what they did way back then? And you're correct. It doesn't sound fair. But let me ask this. Have you ever heard of a disease called sickle cell anemia? You may have. How does a child get sickle cell anemia? What does the child do to get sickle cell anemia? The answer? He or she was born to parents who had it. And that was the child being born to parents who had one part had the sickle cell, and the child inherited. And that's how the child died. By being born to parents who already have sickle cell anemia. Similarly, friends, you and I were born to parents who had sin. So it was passed on to us, and that was how we died. And the glad something what we mean by this sin, it talks about Adam passing sin to us, Romans 5:12. The sin we are talking about is not the sin we commit. We commit a sin when we lie, we steal, we cheat. That's not the sin we are talking about in this case. We are talking about the sin we inherit. So there's a sin we commit by doing something wrong. The sin we inherit by being born with it. And it makes sense, because sometimes a baby dies. We hear about miscarriages, we hear about stillborns. We believe lies, steal, or cheat, that's why they die. No. The baby died because of the sin they inherit from their parents. Romans 6:20 says, the wages sin is death. And that is why we died. That is why Marilyn died. So of course, if one is reading the medical report that the death certificate would say that Marilyn died from a particular cause of death. But the real reason why she died was due to sin. Sin she inherited from Adam and Eve. We all have that sin. All of us are S-I-N positive if they use that analogy. But tell me something. Is Marilyn really dead? It's not a soul looking down on us right now as we are talking about us somewhere in the afterlife. Now that's a interesting question. And there are many religious schools of thought on the subject. But what does the Bible really teach as regards this? What did Marilyn, the silver broker, believe as regards the soul? What is the soul? Answer that, they again go towards the Bible. Apparently we like the book of Genesis, but we're going back to Genesis chapter 2. So we're going to answer the question, what is the soul? Is Marilyn soul out there looking now at us? What is the soul? Let's find out. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. At Genesis 2:7, the Bible says, and Jehovah God went on to form the man out of the dust of the ground, and to blow into his nostril the breath of life. And the man became a living person. Now, if you have to read the same verse in the King James Version, for instance, that last part will read like this: and man became a living soul. Let's read it. What became a living soul? It says, man became a living soul. Therefore, the soul is the man, or the person himself. Are we understanding that? It says, man became a living soul. Therefore, the soul is the man or the person. So that's interesting, huh? I know for some of us this is new, because as we said, there are many religious school of thought. We have been told that the soul is something invisible and intangible, that it parts the body after death. But look at right here, what's in the Bible? Man became a living soul. So the soul is the man. Now, if that is so, is it supported by other portions of the Bible? For instance, if the soul is the man or the person himself, does that mean that the soul dies and therefore is not immortal? Are we understanding the question? If the soul is the man or the person himself, does that mean therefore that the soul dies and therefore is not immortal? Does immortal mean that leaves the body? Let the Bible answer that question. And I'm going to give you this again straight from the King James Version so that those of us who are more familiar with that translation can follow along and examine it even after they go home. We're going at Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4. So Ezekiel, the 18th chapter and the 4th verse. Here we are told, behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. Let me read that last part again. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. So let me answer the question. According to what the Bible teaches, can the soul die? when it's writing, it shall die. And it makes sense, because the soul is the man or the person himself. When man dies, the soul dies, because it's one and the same thing. Again, I know for some of us this may be a new teaching, so many people go back into what's in the Bible, because that's what Marilyn did. She examined for herself in what's in the Bible, and she realized that this is what the Bible teaches. So therefore, if Marilyn is not in the afterlife and none of us, where is she? In other words, what is the true condition of the dead? And I must say, we must have articulated in the Bible again to get that answer. But that was Marilyn would have done. This time, we'll take Ecclesiastes. For those of us who are familiar with the Bible, we have Psalm, we have Proverbs, and then we have the Bible book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 9, we're looking at verses 5 and 6. What is the condition of the dead? The answer for this is 5. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing at all. Nor do they have any more reward, because all memory of them is forgotten. Verse 6. Also their love, and their hate, and their jealousy have already perished, and they no longer have any share in what is done under the sun. Let's dissect the subject, because it's very important. What is the condition of the dead? It says, the dead knows nothing at all. So that's interesting, huh? So the dead cannot be the afterlife if it knows nothing at all. That's what the Bible says. It says, all memory of them has been forgotten. But I find verse 6 very interesting. It says, their love. It says, their hate and their jealousy. You know, sometimes because of being careful of the dead, you might think we can come back and do something, especially if you have some sort of enmity with them. It says, their hate and their jealousy have already perished, and they no longer have any share what is done under the sun. So what dear Sister Marilyn is unconscious in death. That is what the Bible says. That is what the Bible teaches as to the condition. So if she's unconscious in death, would we ever see her again? Or would she just remain dead as the case may be? But the Bible gives hope that lives or die will live again. That hope is called the resurrection. Yes, that term is used in the Bible a number of times. The persons that come to life again, the resurrection. And this resurrection hope is made possible by the sacrifice that Jesus gave. Remember back then when Jesus sacrificed his life for mankind? By sacrificing his life for mankind, the resurrection hope is a reality. Let's look at Matthew chapter 20 and verse 28. And then we're going to look at John 11 and verse 25 to explain this. In Matthew chapter 20 and verse 28 it says, just as the Son of Man came, not to be ministered to, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom in exchange for me. So Jesus came to give his life a ransom in exchange for many. And not many friends, include those of us who are alive today, but also faithful ones who have died. So the ransom makes the resurrection hope a reality. The second text I listed is in the book of John. A while ago we talked about how Jesus liberated tears and the death of Lazarus. We're just going back a few verses on that same topic with Lazarus, when he was talking to Lazarus' sister Martha. At John 11 verse 25, it says, Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who exercises faith in me, even though he dies, will come to life. Here we get a biblical definition of what resurrection is. So that when he says, I'm the resurrection and the life, they define what the resurrection is. He says, the one who exercises faith in me, even though he dies, will come to life. According to the original Greek word rendered resurrection, when the Bible was written in its original language, it talks about like a standing up again. So standing up while coming to life. Now this was in the case of Lazarus, which was made a reference to. Now, we know how that account went on. Eventually they moved the stone Lazarus was there 4 days and brought Lazarus up into alive. Had Lazarus been with God in heaven when he died? But Jesus had brought him back to life. No, was alive already with God. So when the resurrection to be true, Lazarus had to be dead, unconscious, or knows nothing at all to be brought back to life. He was in heaven with God, Jesus didn't bring him back to life because he was alive already with God. And therefore the resurrection was going to be in fact. So truly, death conscious of nothing, but the hope to be dead is a resurrection, and bringing to life those who are dead. So you know that difference. Yes, we're grieving. Yes, our heart is tilting right now. We wish Marilyn was still with us. But based on God's promises through Jesus Christ, we have the hope of being with Marilyn again when she is resurrected. Imagine that. Can I laugh? Still see that quiet personality, the smile, that all the beautiful things we love about her. We have the hope of seeing her alive again when she is resurrected. Don't you find that comforting? What of us do? We look forward to that. That gives us hope. And let me share with you something else that is positive. So we're talking about death. So Marilyn died. Do you know that that condition that we call death has an end? That makes some stranger. Death has an end. Death is on death row. How do we know that? Let's look at Revelation chapter 21, verses 3 and 4. Revelation chapter 21, the 3rd and the 4th verse says, with that, I heard a loud voice from the throne says, look, the death of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them. Verse 4. And he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and this is the point, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor call cry, nor pain be anymore. The former things are passed away. Sounds wonderful, but did you notice that little point here? Notice what promises that death will be no more. So see what we're going through now for our service, crying, cemetery. Eventually, that will be a thing of the past. Death will be no more. So I have to apologize to those in the funeral because when this purpose will come, you will be out of a job. No one will have no funeral service because death will be no more. That is what the Bible promises. The question is, when? Where will Marilyn be when she is resurrected? Something say, Amen. Let's go back to the text. It says, death will be no more. Was there ever death in heaven? God says no. So for that to be no more, there was supposed to be death in heaven so that it would be no more, but there was never any death in heaven. So where would Marilyn be when she was resurrected? Right here on the earth. So we find other Bible supporting text on that. Yes, we can. And we'll pull it out from him. Our Father, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10. We say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. What is that? We have been praying for God's will to be done on earth. Inclusive in that will is the resurrection of the dead. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 5, in the Beatitudes, Jesus said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Psalm 37 verse 29, the righteous themselves will possess the earth, and they will reside forever upon it. But here it is. We know that Marilyn is going to be resurrected and people on like that will be resurrected on earth. And God's purpose for the earth is fulfilled. When thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. We are living in the last days, so we are soon. The living time of this will soon be fulfilled. Marilyn will be resurrected right here on the earth. I know some of us may say, but wait now, that sounds all good. But I remember reading in the Bible at John chapter 14 and verse 2, where Jesus says, in my Father's house there are many mansions, and I go to prepare a place for you. And he was talking about heaven. That is a correct conclusion. That indeed is a correct conclusion. So Jesus was talking about heaven. But in many other parts of the Bible, the Gospel of God, he expanded on that to show that those who will go to heaven, those who he went to prepare that place for, he shows that their number is limited. So not everyone will go there. So for instance, in Luke chapter 12 verse 32, showing that they are part of his kingdom arrangement, he says, have no fear, little flock, the Father has approved of giving you the kingdom. Notice he will have called them there as little flock. Little is contrast to big. So that group will be small. So yes, some are going to happen, but they are to be part of the kingdom. He said, your Father has approved of giving you the kingdom. As part of God's kingdom, what is their purpose? What is their duty to do with that? Let's find out. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 10. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 10, talking about that little flock, that same group, he says, and you made them to be a kingdom. Yes, that's the kingdom again. So, and you made them to be a kingdom and priests of our God, and they are to rule as kings over the earth. So what is their purpose of going to heaven? They are to rule as kings over the earth. Now, think about it first. If all good persons go up to heaven, all the wicked are destroyed, who would be a good for them to rule over? Doesn't make sense. So for them to rule over the earth, there must be faithful mankind on the earth. And there were Marilyn and others like that, even including myself. That is our hope, to live forever on the earth. Which going to heaven will be part of the kingdom, ruling over the earth. So realize that everything in the Bible connects with the next. Now, so here we are in the funeral service of Marilyn Kalicharan. What benefits do we get from? Well, this funeral service reminds us of the brotherhood and the necessity of life. Not just us, but our life also. Because today is not. Tomorrow, it will be any of us, including you. So, and the reality is, that makes us think about how we are using our lives. Realize that, especially when it comes to this home, we just reflect on how we are using our life. And the best way to use our life is to make a good name with God. There's no better way to use our life. Ecclesiastes, one of the books we went through a while ago, chapter 7, verses 1 to 4, encourages us to do this. Let's look at it. Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verses 1 to 4. Here we are told, the good name is better than oil, and the day of death is better than the day of birth. So, better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, but that is the end of every man, and the living should take it to heart. That is the stress that matters, but the sadness of the face makes the heart better. The heart of the wise one is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the stupid is in the house of rejoicing. Which also we in right now. We in the house of hope. We are the wise one. So now this is we really need to reflect on that, but really need to reflect on it. Before we can lose our life, it says a name is better than good oil. So are we making a good name with God as we are alive? Marilyn did so. Now it's our turn. Because we talk about that resurrection hope that Jesus made possible by his death. If we, you and I, want to see Marilyn when she's resurrected, in what we will, we have to be there also. Because Marilyn said that. We want to be there when she comes back. We want to welcome her. But if we pass away before, we want to be resurrected too. So one of us will get resurrected and meet each other. Ah, wait, when they get resurrected, we too. We want to be there to enjoy our association again. And therefore, we need to qualify people. To do so by zealous work and godly conduct. Yes, we need to get ourselves involved in godly conduct. And godly conduct, friends, is what's more than not being a bad. Not being a murderer, not being a drug pusher. Some of us think we are godly because I never kill, I never shoot, I never sell drugs. Yeah, that is good, that is commendable. But godly conduct means more than just avoiding being crimes, as the case may be. We also need to avoid things like sexual immorality, obscene speech, lying, pornography, which is big in Trinidad and Tobago. We need to avoid these things as well. But in addition to avoiding what is bad, we need to do what is good. We need to find out what God's will is, and we need to do it. And the resurrection lays that example for us. And move us to want to know what is God's will in order to do it, because we want to know if we pass away. But if God's will comes today, we'll be there in that paradise still living forever. So, those of us who have that prospect of seeing our loved ones again, we want to work hard and making sure we are there and God's will for the day, that kingdom come, that will be done on earth, and that is fulfilled. But for now, today, we want to use this occasion to comfort one another. Right? We want to use this occasion to comfort one another. For the believers, those of us who are fellow servants of God, we are reminded that we want to provide emotional support, not just to each other, but to the family as well. And that is what Job was in person. Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. So we can note in the end there, in fact, this is our last Bible read text. The 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 says, Praise be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of tender mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our trials, so that we may be able to comfort others in any sort of trial with the comfort we receive from God. Very warm, won't you say? So it describes our God as the God of all comfort. It says He comforts us in all our trials, which is good. So God provides comfort for us. But the text goes on to say, so that we may be able to comfort others in every sort of trial with the comfort we receive from God. So when God comforts us, we don't want to keep it to ourselves and say, I'm comforted. No. We want to use that comfort, comforting others with the comfort we receive from God. So it's not just the baby family who's encouraging that comfort. It's not just next week, it's not just next month. Some those people say, yes, we want to be here. We want to show them our love, support. Sometimes I just get a text message, you know, we're open. Whatever it may be, we know in the lockdown we can't just go and hug everybody and comfort them. But whatever we can do, we want to use the comfort that God comforts us now, so that we can use that to comfort others as well. So in conclusion, we prayerfully look to Jehovah to give us the strength until He provides permanent relief when the Bible says, death will be no.
Thank you very much, brothers. We will now close with Psalm 145, God's promise of paradise, after which Brother Skeet will offer a word.
Let us pray. Our merciful God in heaven, we do pursue the sad paths, but it's not hard to know who they were. We have lost the dear one, the servant of yours, Sister Marilyn, Kalicharan, who have faithfully served you for many years. And though we have started by the passing his word, we know that death is not his name. Yes, she is unconscious of death, but you have given us some hope. You have given us the hope of the ransom sacrifice. By doing the ransom sacrifice, you have given us the hope of the resurrection later. And we are encouraged by this resurrection. Give us incentive to go on. Give us incentive to do whatever trial, knowing that not even death can take our integrity away from you, but we have the hope of coming back. So we pray that through the next days and months that we can comfort one another and we can work it through with the Bible. Many of us who have to this Bible this course, just as we did it for a good time. We pray that we touch their heart, to examine the Bible even more and learn more about you. Because that is what our dear sister Marilyn did. She knew about you, she provided faith, and that moved actually God. And that is what we want from us. We want us to be happy worshippers of you, who worship you first and in truth. So we thank you for that you continue to with us, and you give us the God, and you will use us to comfort and support each other. Because just to continue to do so, even though our greater emotion. We know that we sin against you, we inherit sin from Adam, but sometimes we commit our own sins as well, because of our imperfection. We pray that we will not avoid this sin, we will not repeat the dead body, and we therefore will forgive for the way of death that we will go in protection. You offer this prayer now, in Jesus' name. Amen.
The family of the late Marilyn Kalicharan wishes to thank all who comforted, supported, and in any way offered assistance in their time of bereavement. The funeral party will eventually make their way from Grace and Denny's funeral home in Belmont to the Carnage Cemetery for the burial. We thank you all for viewing.
You have an issue with the lady. Hi, but if you
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paula Andrews, and I'm Marilyn's firstborn child. On behalf of my family, I wish to thank each of you for showing up today to formally say goodbye and celebrate the life of my beautiful mother. Mom was born as Marilyn Bernadette McCabe to Cynthia McCabe and Kevin Small on May 20th, 1953. She was the second born and oldest of 7 kids. She was preceded in death by her brother Jeffrey Joseph, father Kevin Small, brother Norman McCabe, and stepson Junior Marchand. She is survived by her husband George Kalicharan, mother Cynthia McCabe, sisters Dina, Marcia, Natalie, brothers Glenn, Michael, and John, children Paula, Dave, and Almatier, and stepchildren Marilyn, Janice, and Carla, and son-in-law Jason Cumberbatch, grandchildren Adelia, Alicia, Jayshawn, and great-grandson Micah, and a host of nieces and nephews. George Kalicharan was the love of Lynn's life. He swept her off her feet with his charm, and she never looked back. They married on November 6, 1975. She was dedicated to her husband in every aspect. She honored her marriage vows, always striving to do the right thing in good and bad times. Lynn and George shared 3 children together, and she had 4 stepchildren from George's previous relationships. Lynn raised 2 of her 4 stepchildren from the age of 2 alongside her 3 kids. She enjoyed taking care of her husband and children. She took pride in her role as wife, mother, and grandmother. She never showed favoritism towards any of her children. She treated all of us the same. She always made sure that the home was clean, everyone fed, and of course clothes washed every day because she despised seeing dirty clothes in the hamper. Even the dogs and cats were well taken care of by her. Her family's well-being was important to her. She was a rare gem, and we're all thankful for the time Jehovah allowed us to have with her. My dad, siblings, grandchildren, and I feel honored and privileged to have had her in our lives. She loved each of us unconditionally, and she was the best mother and wife anyone could ask for. There is no other like her walking the earth in this lifetime. Mom was an amazing daughter, sister, aunt, and friend, always checking in on her brothers and sisters to make sure they were okay. Outside of my grandmother, she was one of the most courageous, fearless, strong, kind, loving, humble, spiritual, non-judgmental, fair, and honest person I knew. She was a voice of reason, a peacemaker, always encouraging us to do the right thing, be kind to others, because when we do, God would shine a light on us. I cannot tell you how many times she would tell us 2 wrongs don't make a right. When someone wronged you, don't take revenge. Leave it to Jehovah because revenge is his, not ours. She was a nurse, teacher, accountant, therapist, stylist, carpenter. Yes, carpenter. Those who knew her knows what I'm talking about. She was all those things and so much more. Lynn was the epitome of a homemaker. She was a great cook. We used to laugh at her and how well she could make dalpuri roti. He would swear she was 100% Indian. She took pride and joy in her gardening. She had a green thumb and could make anything grow, including your hair. She loved sewing and was very creative with her floral and sewing designs. My last visit to Trinidad 3 years ago, she allowed me to take a quilt and a curtain she made. Both I will cherish forever. Lynn loved her mother. She would talk with her every day. We admired their relationship and how she would go to her when she was having a bad day. She loved serving Jehovah alongside her mom and siblings, attending the assemblies and conventions and taking their annual trips to different islands. She also believed in the resurrection hope that is confirmed in the Bible in John chapter 5, verses 28 and 29, which reads, "Do not be amazed at this, for the hour is coming in which all those in the memorial tombs will hear his voice and come out." I know during this difficult time, she would want us all to meditate on this promise that God remembers the dead, and those in his memory will come back to life with the hope of living forever in an abundance of peace. So please take comfort in this promise. Death is something we will never grow accustomed to because it is unnatural. It is an enemy that resulted from sin that spread to each of us. One thing it does, though, is put life into perspective. It makes you appreciate everything you have and focus on what is truly important in life, and emphasizes that we should all live life to the fullest each day. Hug and tell your loved ones how much you love them every day. Be kind and forgiving towards others because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. I encourage you to continue to comfort and look out for each other in the coming days, weeks, months, and even years, because it's not possible to know how long it will take for each person to grieve. So let's be there for each other, ready to help. Mom, we love you and will think and talk about you always. We will honor your legacy. You will never be forgotten because you will always be in our hearts to walk and guide us through life until we meet again. So fly high, our beautiful queen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sunil. I'm your funeral director for this morning. At this point, the casket will be open for viewing for 5 minutes, and then we'll proceed to the Kalicharan Cemetery, where there will also be a viewing. For those of you who know that's the day. Yes?
Okay, cool, good.
fears. Let it fill my soul and drown my fears. Let it shatter the walls for a new sun.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Is everyone hearing me? Okay, great. So for those of you who were not at the chapel earlier, my name is Celine. I'm your funeral director today from Grace Funeral Home. Just to say a few things on behalf of the funeral home, death is never an easy thing to deal with. Grief is never an easy thing to deal with. Losing a loved one is never an easy thing to deal with. And the reality is, we all too must die one day. Today we are not only here gathered to mourn her death, but also to celebrate Marilyn's life. She was a woman of great stature, a woman that many of you described as a soul that would have enlightened others. You know, she would have touched the hearts of others. She would have reached many people by her personality. And though she's not here with us physically anymore, she is within each and every one of you standing before me here today. On behalf of Grace Funeral Home, the management and staff, we would just like to express our sincerest and deepest condolences to everyone gathered here today. Relatives, friends, loved ones well wishes. We understand that it's a trying time. It's a difficult time. It's a grieving time. And I'm going to be honest, no amount of words that I say to you today would comfort you in the way that you need to be comforted. However, we do hope and pray that God provides strength, peace, but most importantly, comfort to you. With me, I have some doves. We use these doves as a symbolization of being set free from the trials and tribulations of life. Just as how Marilyn is now set free from the trials and tribulations of her life. So I'm going to invite two persons to step forward to release the doves in honor of her.
Withdraw two.
So as we release these doves, let us all remember the great conversations we would have had with Marilyn, the memorable moments, the valuable lessons. And as they release these doves in honor of Marilyn, let us now remember that she too is now free as a free. Yeah? So can you give me a count number 3 for them to release the doves in honor of her? Yes. So on your count we would release. 3, 2, 1. May her soul sleep in perfect peace. At this point, the casket will be open for viewing. Before we proceed to the graveside, we do have a cooler with light refreshments. It is for you guys. Please partake of it. Thanks everyone, at this point, the basket will be closed. Can I have 6 more barrels? Can I have 6 strong man, please? One more, please. So, on my count of 3, you lift. When you lift, allow me 5 seconds to put the trolley from underneath so no one can pull the trolley. Alright, so 1, lift, hold it. Right, so roll it to your left. Yeah, underneath that. Yeah, watch yourself.
Careful there, uncle. What you say there?
Anything they want to do? Anything they want to do?
They put it on. One man go there. One man come up there. Now you don't come on the dirt, eh? You wrap the rope. You wrap the rope. Pull. Right. Walk with it, all you have to walk with it. Walk with it. Walk with it. Hey, come here, boy. Hey. Walk. Stay there. Right.
Pull up there, right?
Right, hold. Come on, hold. Right, go up with the head. Go down with the foot.
Go down.
Go down. Take your time. Go down. Go down with the head. Go down with the head.
Somebody sing something. Amazing grace, something.
Wait, my lord.
What a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We will sing and shout. We all get together. What a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We will sing and shout with praise. Won't it be a time when we get over yonder? Won't it be a time when we get over yonder? Won't it be a time when we get over yonder? Oh, won't it be a time? We wanna sing and shout, dance all around. When we get over yonder, we're gonna sing and shout, dance all around. When we get over yonder, we're gonna sing and shout, dance all around. When we get over yonder, oh, won't it be a time? Say, won't it be a time? When we get over yonder, won't it be a time? When we get over yonder, say, won't it be a time? When we get over yonder, oh, won't it be a time?
Hello.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
When we get over yonder, we're gonna sing and shout, dance all around. When we get over yonder, we're gonna sing and shout, dance all around. When we get over yonder, oh, won't it be a time? Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory to
Aquí, mano.
gonna shout, praise the Lord. I'm gonna walk all around God's city to see my loved ones who's gone on before. And I will sit by the banks of
No. Valus not be my lord?
Yeah. Come.
Hold on. Nicola, muda, mas não. I go down with the after see grass. I ain't see no grass. When you walk on it? Amigo. No. Amigo, watch. The walk on it. The walk on it. Like so. The walk on it harder. Walking on that. Hardest thing to walk on that. See when you walk on it? Problems. You walk.
Strong, maybe. Strong.